All right, welcome back. And we had concluded with some remarks about Harley's finances. You might notice here Harley Davidson will need to be careful about how much additional debt they take on as we see that debt ratio increasing. The stock price drop makes it more difficult to raise funds through stock issuing, and cash flow from operations will be critical to fund new initiatives and repay debt. And right now, there's some pressure on that because of declining sales. A business model canvas, which you've been introduced briefly to, and I will be talking more about in our third section of lectures, is a really important simplified tool to kind of summarize what you know to be true about the company. And I think of it this way. You're asked honestly to do two of them. One, which says this is what the company looks like today, and the second one, where you highlight, and I would use a different color font, a different size font, so it very clearly stands out. You can circle it or whatever you want to do to make it really clear. A second one that says, based on what I'm recommending, here are some of the changes that I see. So you can see multiple examples of business model canvases, BMC, online, and encourage you to do a little bit of research. You may even find one on your company, and that gives you a good starting point to work from. A good research means that you have to do less of the heavy lifting yourself, and you get to work off of the work of others. So I'm going to talk about organizational resources and capabilities. These hit a number of factors that we cover a little bit in our program. You can do master's degrees to some level in many of these areas, but we need to understand what are the unique resources and capabilities of any company we're looking at. And so around R&D, what is true? What are the current R&D objectives, strategy, and programs? What technological competence do they have? How are they transferring that from what they've created in their R&D lab to get it to products and market? What's the product and process of their design? How do they their value chain alliance? Value chains are everybody they work down channel with, that they buy component parts from, that they buy raw materials from, to everyone upline. In their case, it would be their retailers who actually sell their bikes on to their consumers like you and I. And how much are they investing in R&D? Has that been increasing or decreasing over time? And so you can go back to the financials and get a quick sense of that. I will tell you, one of the things that Harley begins to do it this season is to begin to think about young riders, because their market share is fairly saturated with older riders and male riders. And so they begin to think about newer riders and female riders, growing areas in the industry, who generally want smaller bikes than what they're accustomed to making. And so that requires some R&D. And then operationally, what's our manufacturing look like? Go onto YouTube, watch how Harleys are manufactured. See how things are made at the company you're studying. Look at Tesla. Um, so YouTube can be a really helpful to kind of get a picture of how things are done. They have actually changed the way Harleys are made. A lot of automation has moved into design, but Harley typically likes to have a group work beginning a bike from beginning to end. They changed that model for a time for efficiency, and it turned out that it hurt quality and it hurt morale and therefore productivity of the workers. And so they went back to that model. Understanding what this looks like, though, is probably easier on a video from YouTube. And so that's what I would encourage you to go and look and say, how does Tesla manufacture right now? What does my company's operations look like right now? So always pause whenever there's too much for you to absorb in the time frame that I'm talking through a slide. Human resource management factors are also important. What are the current strategies and programs? Like I said, I talked a little bit about the culture, but